What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Memphis Conservative channel. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe and hit that like button and share the video and comment down below. Before I get started on this video, what I want to read to you all, I want to give a special shout out to Ben Dykes. I had called in on his live this morning, and he was showing the clip about Chuck Schumer talking about the judges got placed in these seats, like 230 something judges, and he sent a lot of these people over to my channel, and I know and a lot of these people have subscribed to my channel, and I really appreciate that, Mr. Ben Dykes, and I appreciate all of you that came to my channel and subscribed and helped me supporting it. Because I'm pretty sure y'all heard me on this live just saying that it was somehow I was losing views, and come to find out, a friend of mine was telling me, he said, so what it is, YouTube, they was taking away some of my views. I was like, I didn't see how I was like, why and stuff like that. He was telling explain. He said because of content that you're showing and putting out, they're not letting the liberal mainstream media talk about that kind of stuff. So far other videos I have done on my channel. So yeah, I really want to thank him so much for that. I really appreciate that. I watch Mr. Ben Dykes every morning when he goes live at 6:30 before he goes to work. I'd be already at work on the truck. I drive trucks. I'm not on the road, but I come home every day. But I had to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I get up like 2 something, and I always go in there to look for his channel, because I know he's gonna go live at 6:30, and I push the the notify me button, and so when I'm on the truck, I just be listening to him. He gives great content, man. Great good content. I try to catch his lives, like I think like a couple times he'll go live like in the evening time, like probably like around 7 or 8 o'clock. I try to catch a little bit of that, but then I end up I be falling asleep. Like I said, I had to get up like 2:30 in the morning to get ready for work. But then I always make sure I hit the like button, and then when I do wake up and on the way to work, and when I get to work, I listen to his live from the night before. But yeah, I just want to shout out to him, and I really appreciate that, brother. And I appreciate everybody that came over and subscribed to me and supporting the channel. And I read a lot of comments. I did, respond back. And so let's get off into this. This is from the National Post, and I got it, and I actually got a title. Why is nobody's talking about this? And I think this is important. Okay, so that's the guy, and it says Iran agent caught in hitman plot to assassinate Trump. Okay, I'm going to read this all in full. A federal jury has convicted a Sif merchant, also known as a Sif Raza merchant, merchant. Well, yeah, merchant, I guess. But anyway, of murder for hire and attempting to commit an act of terrorism transcending national boundaries. Mashad, a trained operative of the Iranian government's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, they have it abbreviated IRGC, admitted at trial that he was sent to the United States to arrange political assassinations and steal documents. Law enforcement foiled the plot before any attacks could be carried out. Applause on that. I respect that. That's I'm happy for that. That they stopped that, whatever it is he was sent here to do, and they stopped it. Mashad arrived in the United States in April 2024. That was way before the election, so that was what? Biden was still, Biden administration. By June, he had met with purported hitmen who were actually undercover U.S. law enforcement officers in New York. Guess it wasn't too small, was it? You get caught up by the undercover. and began planning assassinations and thefts. He was arrested in July 2024 before leaving the country. Mashar testified that his IRGC, which I told you that is Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, handler instructed him to finalize the plan and depart the U.S. before the attacks were carried out. So he was supposed to set up all of that. Basically, I guess he was supposed to set up all of that. He's supposed to be, got ghosts before anything popped off. This man landed on American soil hoping to kill President Trump. Instead, he was met with the might of American law enforcement, said Attorney General Pamela Bondi. Pamela Bondi, that's the same one that everybody that's been criticizing this lady, talking about she ain't doing this and she ain't doing that and all of that. Well, it looks like she doing her job to me. Her and FBI Director Cash Patel. Looks like she doing a job to me to catch this person right here. And they have been doing arrests on different things too, also. So I wish people shut up about what she ain't doing. Hell, you had Biden 4 years. He didn't do nothing. He didn't complain then. Don't complain now. FBI Director Cash Patel added, Mashar trying to hire someone to kill a politician or a U.S. government official, but the FBI and our partners stopped that deadly plot. Assistant Attorney General John A. Eisenberg emphasized that Mashar's actions struck at the heart of our democracy and our commitment to the rule of law. Mashar's plot involved recruiting individuals to commit acts of theft, stage protests, and assassinate U.S. officials, including President Trump. He met with an acquaintance in New York who reported his plans to law enforcement, becoming a confidential source. Mashar later met with undercover officers, posing as hitman, paying them $5,000 as an advance for their services. He planned to leave the U.S. on July 12, 2024, but was arrested before his departure. Bravo, that they caught him before he even left. And he gave up all the information to undercover officers, law enforcement officers. My question is, and when it comes down to this stuff, I hate that the media, they won't talk. It's like when every time they want to say something, it's always got to be something negative or something untrue about Trump. But stuff like this, somebody tried to kill our commander in chief more than once. More than once. And nothing is, I'm like this story right here. This story here just came out, a day or two ago? Let me see, what was the date on this? March 7th. That was actually, so this story actually dropped though yesterday, but wasn't nothing mentioned about it from the media or anybody that I know of. I haven't seen it. Now, if it did, then one of y'all can let me know down in the comment. But I'm showing you now, and I don't like this kind of stuff. That the stuff that they need to be talking about, they don't. They don't, and especially if it don't fit their narrative or whatever. It's just like I noticed something on that day in Pennsylvania, Butler. I kind of noticed something when that happened that day. What I noticed was, okay, now I'm trying to look at think about the timeline for a second. When Trump got out of office in 2020, because they so-called Biden beat him, but we all know that's a lie. But anyway, Trump had been doing rallies ever since then, ever since he had got out of office, here and there. Nobody covered it. like like the liberal mainstream media, like CNN, MSNBC, uh, your local news channels. The man had been doing rallies ever since he had, ever since he had got out of office. He was doing rallies here and there. So fast forward to that day in Pennsylvania. Excuse me for a second. To that day in Pennsylvania, I noticed all of a sudden CNN, MSNBC, everybody and their mama went live for that in particular rally. And when I noticed that, I thought about that like a day or two after that happened. I said, you know what? It's like all of a sudden everybody went live for that in particular rally. Y'all ain't been covering his rallies, especially since he been out of office. At that time, y'all ain't been covering his rallies. But all of a sudden, that in particular rally, y'all covered. And I just thought that was weird. I was like, did they just try to JFK my guy on national? Because it would have been national TV. But God had that man head to turn at the nick of time. And I thank him for that. And I thank God for that. I think Trump is a God-sent person. Not saying he's God or he's Jesus or nothing like that. I think he's a God-sent person. Because to me, I'm the type of person, I believe everything that happens is all part of God's plan. Everything. Whether you want to look at it as a bad thing or a good thing. Like people know their Bible. In the Bible, I mean, God can use anybody. He used some bad people here and there in the Bible, and they ended up turning good to whatever God wanted his message to get out. To God can use anybody, so he can do. So he does what he want to do, and I think and I'm like this man. This man is taking on all these people, and my thing is, if he didn't win this last go round, we want to know nothing about all this stuff that's going on. It's like he just came in and just disrupted everything for them. Good on our part because he showed us what these folks has been doing. All this fraud money, stealing the taxpayers' money, y'all giving out taxes. I wake up every day, and then when I get my check, taking out all these taxes just to give it to these people right here that's over here ain't supposed to be here. This is what I'm working for. If that man hadn't won, we want to know nothing about this stuff. Somebody, one of the business people had said that in one of my videos. I was looking at the comment section and said, just think about it. If Kamala man would have won, we want to know nothing about this. And on top of this, I'm gonna tell you something else that nobody else has thought about that I know of. Tim Walsh. He ended up got picked. That's why I said, quote, picked to be Kamala Harris VP. Remember? Now that we found out all this money in Minnesota, and he's the governor of Minnesota. Now I see how a lot of money was raised less than 24 hours for Kamala. Probably say, hey man, you doing a good job over there in Minnesota. Check this out. Look, you give her some of this money and fund her campaign, we'll let you be the vice president. But it still didn't work though. But I'm just, I might be exaggerating on it. I might be wrong on it, but that's just what I think. Now I'm talking about this woman had like 1.2 billion with the billion dollars within them little couple of months or so time when she ran. But then at the end, when everything was over with, you $20 million in the hole. I was like, I'm so glad she won our president. You spent $1.2 billion in what, 3-4 months or however much, about what, 2-3 months, 3-4 months? You spent $1.2 billion and you $20 million in the hole? No, I don't need you running this country, sweetie. No, we're not gonna do it. Mm-mm. You think we $36 trillion in the whole force of U.S. debt? If she would got it, we wouldn't say nothing. Um, but yeah, but this story right here, I'm glad they caught this guy. I think they just sentenced that other guy. What's his name? Ryan Wesley Ralph. They just sentenced him to life. When he did his plot against President Trump, and I think they just sentenced him last week. I think, if I'm not mistaken, sentenced him to life. So, but this guy right here, I'm glad they caught him. Um, and I'm tired. Like I said, I'm so sick and tired of people talking about what Pam Bondi and them, Casper tell them ain't doing. Don't folk work. I'm gonna tell you like that. Them folk working. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't a lot of talked about, but they had caught. I think like they had caught a few of those Islamic people. They had some bombs or something. It was like a couple of weeks or so before New Year's, and they found out that they was planning on blowing something up in 5 different locations in LA or whatever, but they ended up catching them and stuff like that. That wasn't allowed, that wasn't a huge talked about. And they had caught them before New Year's Eve. They was planning on doing it on New Year's Eve or whatever. So I was glad that they caught them. But yeah, I'm sick and tired of people talking about what Pam Bond and them ain't doing. Um, and I've been trying to tell a couple of people that in my job when they bring up and say, why Pam Bondi ain't so and so, so and so. I said, man, it's hard, man, for her to even get this stuff convicted because of the judges that we had. I said, Joe Biden, man, he put like 230 some judges in these seats. Obama did it too. And Obama was in there twice. Clinton did it too. Just like I told Mr. Ben Dykes, that judge that has that Maduro case up there in New York, man, like what, 92, 93 years old? A Clinton appointed judge. I said 92 years, I said 90 some years old. Man, you supposed to be at home, man, with your grandkids and great grandkids. Teach them how, playing checkers or something. But I mean, these people, they just don't want to let go of this power, man. It's just something about that power. And just getting rich. I noticed back in the day, Democrats, they used to always talk about the millionaires. This we got to go up on the millionaires taxes. Now they don't say millionaires. Now they say billionaires. Cause why? All of y'all are millionaires now. Yeah, fun how that worked. But as far as this 2026, man, people gotta get out there, man, and vote. You can't sit this one out. I look at this one, this 2026 election. I'm looking at it like the game right before the Super Bowl. You either win or go home. Because if we don't get this right in 2026, ain't no telling what they're gonna try to do. But we already know they're gonna try to. They take back any kind of power. They're gonna try to impeach Trump, impeach everybody that's in his circle, and all of that old stuff. And they're gonna get rid of the filibuster, and they're gonna make sure that they put whatever kind of laws or whatever they want to come up with and stuff like that. Man, we cannot allow that to happen. It's like you're mad at, well, Trump said he was going to do this and do that. You got people in his own party going against him. It ain't him. The man is doing really, man, what he promised everybody he's going to do. But you got a handful of people in his party that goes against him. And I don't like that. Like that John Thune guy, uh, the leader of the Republican Party. Mitch McConnell knew what he was doing when he put that man in place. When Mitch McConnell put that man in place to take his place, and he put him in that spot. I said that man right there, he don't like Trump. I had been said that when he first got in there. I said he don't like Trump, and Mitch McConnell knew what he was doing. I'm still surprised that he's still have some kind of seat or whatever in the Republican Party. I'm like, this man might need to sit down, man. But yeah, we gotta get it right, ladies and gentlemen, in 2026. We gotta get it right. But everybody, like I said, everybody talking about Pam Bondi ain't doing this, doing that. Just shut the hell up. And the thing about Kristen On, everybody's still running with this. They still running with this. She got fired. She got reassigned. And to me, I think when she got reassigned, I wouldn't even call that a demotion. She over there with um, Pete Hegseth, Stephen Miller, Mark Rubio, and them. I'm talking about she's over there with the real life Avengers. So I mean, but I understand, you know how he did it. Since Democrats was complaining, talking about we not opening back up the government unless Kristen don't get fired. Okay, she gone now. She's over here. I moved her. There's somebody else right here in this spot. Now what? The guy that he chose to be in that spot. Um, it's a video of him. I don't know about him, but it was a video that somebody showed. And if that video was true, I did not like that part. He said he gave in his video. He said he gave a hug to the officer that had shot Ashley Babbitt. Because I understand he had to do what he had to do. Uh, he was a fear for his life, and I'm like, did he really say that? Or is this an AI video? But I'm looking, I'm like, I don't think this is an AI video. I said, but it's true that he said that because he had him on camera saying it. He had to do what he had to do. The woman was unarmed. And I'm like, you gave the man a hug, a handshake and a hug. He understood. He was just doing his job. He understood his life was in danger. He was scared. Blah blah blah. Some stuff he said in that video. But yeah, they can shut up, man, about Christian Nome or whatever. I mean, because she's over there in a better spot than me, a way more better spot. Like I said, I think I heard somebody call them that, but that is, I was like, yeah, you can really call Marco Rubio now over there, Steve Miller, yeah, the real life Avengers. So, but let me know down in the comment section, what y'all think about this video, this article I read to you all, your thoughts about it, and shout out again to Mr. Ben Dykes. Appreciate you, brother. Peace.